Hello, PK.
Hi,
Hello.
PK.
How is everybody doing?
Fabulous.
Great.
Excellent. Who's got good news for me this week? Anybody have something great happen in their business this week?
I feel like I really am enjoying your advice. That's what I feel like, and I've been enrolling more pace setter packs. It's not like a ton more, but I also had some parties last week, and one girl is very close to promoting, and so I feel like I can see the success coming. So I'm very
Nice.
Yes.
And we talked a little bit about launch parties last week. We're going to talk about them more this week, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
We got more ideas for you. There's 5 more models to share with you.
Great.
Anybody excited about a new enrollment or maybe a new consultant?
That I have not had a consultant in a while. So I was, Cindy talked about being intentional this week. So my intention is to have 2 consultants by the end of the week, but that hasn't happened yet.
I may have an idea for you from this, but also next week we'll be talking about very deliberate steps we take with associates to help them get to consultant.
Awesome.
So we have help coming your way.
Good. As long as I can do it by, what's the day? May 14th.
Okay.
We got this,
Now,
Mom. We got it.
You got it.
Gotta have that.
Now,
crystal direction.
did you see the news from the Isogenics University in New Jersey?
I've heard some news.
They're changing the names of the packs.
No.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
I didn't either.
Yeah. So many teams, so many successful teams are starting at the top and going down like we're teaching you. The Business Builders Pack is going to now be called the Ultimate Pack. So the phrase doesn't scare anybody away. And the President's Pack is then going to be referred to as the Value Pack because it's half price from the Ultimate Pack. Isn't that genius?
I
Mhm.
love it. Did you have any influence on that?
Well, you know, I do train an awful lot of successful teams. You know, the top team in the world, they've been teaching that Ultimate Pack for a couple of years now. And in the time that they've been teaching their people to start at the top and go down, they've made an extra $1 million a year.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a clue.
That's a lot. Yeah. That's a lot. Nice.
So let's talk more launch parties. Would that be okay? Because we've got some fun models for you.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Yes.
Now, I have to warn you, all of these models are very fun. So if you're not in a fun mood, you may be really skeptical. How my soul, are you serious? But just trust me, I would never teach you something that's a theory. Everything I'm teaching you, someone is already making coin off of. It's not a theory. You may not have experienced it before, but it isn't a theory. I never teach theories on these calls. I really only ever teach theories to private mentees. And I'll tell them, hey, why don't you try this? Who's ever done it? Nobody. You're going to be the first one. Oh, cool. But I don't do it on team calls, okay? So you're not any guinea pigs.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
So to start with, we showed you that inspirational launch party model last week. Remember, it was a 35-minute presentation. We wanted people to be trying the product by the 36-minute mark. We had those 3 ways for people to join at the end of it. We had your first 3 are free on me bags at the front of the room. Remember all that stuff we shared?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, the next model we call the party launch party because it isn't a meeting, it's a party. And it kind of exposes the fact that our launch parties aren't parties, they're actually meetings. Most of the party, we're sitting facing one direction listening to someone or something. That's not a party, that's a meeting. Well, the party launch party is actually a party. It ain't no meeting. It was first created by brand new builders out of Sarasota, Florida, Claire and Stephen Kelly. And their upline is David Norrie. And at the time, David was living in Tampa, and he surprised them and showed up for their launch party just to encourage them. And he says, you know, I'm just here to help. I'm not here to take over anything. Can I help set anything up? And they said, no, we're all set. We're just waiting for the people to show up. And he looks around. He says, well, where are you showing the slideshow? Oh, well, there's no slideshow at this party. Oh, okay. But what about the videos? What videos are we going to watch? Yeah, here's the thing. There's no videos of this one either. And he looks at them and says, well, what kind of idea is this? And Claire says, well, to be truthful, it's kind of a PK idea, but we're making our own idea out of it. So we're kind of taking PK's idea and turning it on its ear. He says, that's okay. I've made a lot of money because of PK. I'm cool. I'll just sit back here and eat. I'm good. So when you show up at a party launch party, because it's a party, there's music playing. And someone greets you at the door with a name tag, but also with a martini glass. And in the martini glass is a concoction of Replenish and Cleanse and a couple slices of fruit and some ice chips. Because, you know, what's a party unless you're walking around like Dean Martin with a martini glass in your hand? Everybody kind of mixes and mingles. And at this first one, the associates outnumbered the guests 2-1. 17 associates, 7 guests. And pretty close into the top of the hour, Claire says, come on in here, guys. You don't need to sit down. We just want to share with you a couple of stories about how our families have been affected by these great superfoods. And all they share is 2 product testimonials. Like we learned, I felt, I love, I am. And then a silly success story, a 1-minute, oh, wow, I think the accountant's got a drinking problem. They sent me too much money. And the product line from the top down, like we've shown you. And then Claire's closing this part of the party off. Just says, hey, guys, that's it. We just said we're going to share a couple stories. This is actually a party. In the other room, we've got a buffet of food. Now, we've got traditional party food. We got some fruit trays, some veggie trays, some dips. But we have a huge, wide variety of all of the different superfoods you can get with this company we partner with. In fact, most of the associates in this room have never tried some of the stuff on the table, so they're going to be as surprised as you. Now, when you want to get started, come back in here and you can choose one of these 3 ways to get started. And but really, it's a party, guys. Turn the music back up. Let's try this food. And they turn the music back up, and in a party setting, around kind of a buffet table, the 7 guests got to experience the products, and some of the associates got to experience products for the first time as well. At this first party, 5 of the 7 guests join and leave the party in under an hour. Got what they needed to know? I'm out. The other 2 required the 72-hour callback. One joined with a business builder's pack, and the other joined with a president's pack. Everybody joined that went to the party. Now, every associate said the same thing. When can we have another one of these? Because I can invite friends to this kind of thing. It's the meeting thing they're not that interested in. But if they were told it's an actual party and it's just taste testing, I can get more people to come to this. And sure enough, every other Tuesday in Sarasota, Florida, Stephen and Claire Kelly host a party lunch party. It's become a great business building tool. What do you think of that much lighter touch?
I love the idea. I was just thinking that with inviting for my next launch party, I've already had good success because of people confirming that they will come, because I've said it will be 1 hour. That is all the time I will take from you is 1 hour. So I like this even more because it is a party.
It is a real party, yeah. And when you're done partying, you just go home.
And can you just go over the Claire's closing portion one more time?
Yeah, Claire would say, yeah, we're all done sharing, guys. This is a real party. We're going to have you taste testing these amazing products. When you're ready to get started, come back into this room. We'll have 3 options for how you can join. Enrollment forms here, laptops here, customer service phone calls back there. But this is a real party, so turn the music back up. Let's enjoy the food.
Okay.
And it's just that light. It isn't a hard sell in any way, shape, or form.
I like it.
Now, some will find this hard to believe because they have for so long been explaining so much. How on earth does someone start from this? But the fact is, they came to the party because an associate invited them. And who knows how many contacts they had with that person before they joined? I don't know. It just happened to be that the closing contact for them was this party launch party. And there's so many ways that you can make new kind of variations of this. We just had teams in Canada last summer. One of the members had a great in-ground pool. So every Thursday, they had a party launch party pool party. And they hired a lifeguard to make sure nothing wrong happened. Kiddies would play in the pool. Moms wouldn't go inside. They'd just go to kind of an area away from the pool a little bit, hear the couple of stories, try some of the products, sign up, watch their kids play in the pool, and go home. Done. Very light touch and very effective.
Love it.
Does that sound doable to everybody?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I hope so, because the next two models are based on it. The next two models answer a question or solve a problem that previously there has been no solution for with Isagenix. And I'm really happy to tell you this solves two pretty big problems. One is called the AutoShip Partner Launch Party. The AutoShip Partner Launch Party. And the idea is that in Isagenix, we have a little bit of a dilemma, and that is that we only do launch parties with business builders. But the majority of our associates aren't business builders. So we never really effectively get into the circles of influence of the majority of our associates, even though they may have a fantastic product experience. Until now. The AutoShip launch party actually solves that problem. So you would come to someone who's enjoying a great product experience, but is reluctant on wanting to build the business. And you'd say to them, hey, you look great, you must feel great, and people must be asking questions. I'd like to solve a problem for both of us. I'd love to get to meet some of your friends that are interested, and I'd love to trade you some free product for you hosting a party. So let's say you throw a party, I'll show up and do a simple 10-minute presentation. I will not take your party hostage. It's still a party. We'll bring some samples, and your friends will get to see these products you've been raving about your results with. Now, as a result of the party, when two of your friends decide to join with PAX, I will personally enroll them, because this isn't a trick trying to make you into a consultant beyond your own desire. I will personally enroll them, but I'll put them on your team leg, so that if any time in the future you decide to become a business builder, the BV from this party and their ongoing purchases will all be stored for you because you're on AutoShip. Now, with the PIBs I get from those two enrollments, I would happily buy your favorite product on AutoShip next month. You eat that for free on me. Now, if 4 of your friends decide to join with PAX, I again will personally enroll them and put them on your team leg. But because 4 people joined, I will either cover your entire AutoShip order next month, or maybe you've always wanted to try that Rejuvenity skincare system. I would happily make that a gift for you hosting such a great party. What do you think of that idea?
I'd say that'd be pretty enticing for anybody.
It really works. It really, really works. The first time one of my mentees even offered it, she booked 3 of them the first week. Because who doesn't want free product?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Does everybody understand what we're trading them with them for?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, the funny thing is, not funny ha-ha, but funny weird, this isn't a new idea. I mean, this is what Mary Kay, the jewelry people, the handbag people, the candle people, all of those people do. They have people host parties that aren't necessarily business builders. But we've never borrowed the model for some reason, and I don't know why. It works. Why not borrow it? And that's why we've seen some great success from it. It's not a new business model. People are happy to host a party. You're not asking me to become a business builder. I don't have to coach anybody. Nope. You're just going to get free product.
Now, would this be also okay to do for somebody that maybe isn't even a member as well? Like they're interested in it, but they've said, oh, I can't afford it, or, you know, be a way for them to get some free product and try it out without having any of the
well, that's actually the next model. We call it the pre-launch launch party. You got it exactly.
well,
Can I interrupt for just
You're
a second?
You are on
Sure.
it, Tessa.
So what does that party look like when you have someone else host and you say, can I just have, you know, like 10 minutes of their time? What exactly does that look like? What do you do? Just present the products, or how does that go? Like I understand.
We use what we said you would do with a party launch party, and it's just 2 product testimonials. I felt, I love, I am.
Okay.
And 1 silly success story.
Okay.
And then describe the products from the top down, and then get the meeting. Little 10-minute presentation, nothing more than that. That is key. If you take people's parties hostage with this long meeting, no one will ever do one with you again. Because their friends came to a taste testing. If they see a whiteboard and a video, they're out. Does that make sense?
Sure.
yeah.
And just like you just came up with, when I explained that auto ship partner launch party to a start member, she thought exactly the same thing. Hold on. What if we did this for people who couldn't afford it? Now, this just happened last month. A couple of my mentees knew this model, and they were prospecting a gal in the start group. And she said, I really need this. I really want this, but I can't afford to have that sitting on my card for a month. I mean, I would have to know that I was getting something back here. And they said, okay, then don't join. She said, what? I said, no, don't join. You just throw a party. Fill up your apartment. We'll come over and do a 10-minute presentation. Now, we'll only use the enrollment form method so that after we've done a presentation and they've test driven the product, they've decided they want to get going, they'll fill out an enrollment form. And then after the party, you'll know exactly what pack you can afford because you'll know what your friends decided to join with. There's no risk. So sure enough, this young start member put 6 people in her apartment room. And 2 of them bought President's packs. So this gal was able to get a President's pack for under $200 if she could swing it. So she enrolled with a President's pack and then enrolled her 2 friends with their President's packs, and boom, she's a consultant. Now, what she didn't know was one of her other guests brought the leaders aside and said, I need the same deal. I really want to start, but if I fill my apartment next week, will you come do the same thing for me? Well, she put even more people in the room, and 3 of her friends joined first. So it turned out her pack cost nothing. It was free. So they made another consultant the next week with 3 associates. But this gal was invited by that first gal. They didn't steal the enrollment. They enrolled her as if that first gal personally enrolled her. So the gal who just threw a party the week before is now halfway to Crystal Manager, and she didn't even know it. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool. I did a party last week that was similar to what you just described. She was not able to afford it but really wanted to start. And so we did something like that with her, and she got a pace setter pack, and then she enrolled with an introductory pack. So we didn't quite get her to consultant yet, but she's going to enroll another person this week, and she'll be to consultant. So I really do like how this works.
Isn't it a nice active service? I love it.
It really is, because it helps them to be able to see how they can help other people. And then she actually had a lady at her party, just like you said, that couldn't afford it, but now she wants to do a party as well. So, I mean, it really does help, and it works for people that are on a budget, for sure.
And the fact that you're keeping it to 10 minutes and the party atmosphere is very duplicatable in people's minds to do in the future themselves.
Absolutely. So their model isn't, how much stuff do I have to know before I do one of these?
Right.
Because right now, that's what we show them, right? If you're not halfway to a nutritionist degree, don't bother.
Right.
Well, I don't think, well, I know that's not true. I know that because all you've got to do is ask Tracy O'Malley, how does the product work? And she'll be honest. I don't know. I don't know how it works. I know you have to eat it, but other than that, I don't know. Why? I'm not a nutritionist. I don't claim to be one.
Can I ask a question?
You can ask any question you want. Absolutely.
Okay. So on model number 2, the auto ship partner launch party, you still offer 3 enrollment options?
Yes. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Well, because giving them options for how they join helps them join more easily.
Okay.
And it just, now they're deciding which way they're going to join, not if they're going to join. It really helps the enrolling process.
Right. So then the one you just talked about, the third model, you
can only use the enrollment form.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. I said that wrong. No, my mind wandered. I take it back. Okay. Here's why. The first time this was ever done in Australia, go back one, sorry, to the auto ship partner launch party.
Okay.
The first time it was ever done in Australia, it was a huge success. The woman threw an enormous party, and 6 of her friends are joining with President's Packs. So the PIBs alone are going to be $1,000. Now, when the host saw that, she came to her sponsor, Mel, and says, I've got an awkward conversation to have with you here. And Mel says, no, it's not. You're going to ask if you can become a consultant and take the enrollments. She says, yeah, but Mel, I mean, you're just a young gal starting out. I can't take $1,000 from you. I just can't. And Mel says, you're not. Well, yeah, if I take the enrollments, I get the PIBs. Yeah, but what you don't know is I'm one consultant from Crystal Director. So if you become a consultant, I get $750 from the company, plus I'll cycle 5 or 6 times from these enrollments. I'm still up. I still get $1,000. In fact, if you become a consultant and take the enrollments, we both get $1,000. Oh, okay. Well, would you mind? And Mel says, well, I wouldn't mind, but I won't make a fake consultant. So these people ultimately are going to look to you for customer service. And I know you don't know how to do that. That's okay. I just want you to be willing to learn with me so that in the future, if they need help, you'll know how to help your own friends. This doesn't mean I'm going to cut you out and not help you. That's not what I'm saying. It's just they are going to look to you, not me. So if you just commit to shadowing me for the first 30 days and learn how to give that great customer service, you'll be able to help your friends. And I mean, I'll be here to help you as you go along, but they're really always going to look to you because you're their enrolling sponsor. Would you be willing to shadow me? And she said something interesting. She said, I would love to, but let me explain why I never became a business builder in the first place. For some reason, I got the idea that if I was going to be a business builder, I'd have to learn how to cold call the yellow pages. And I'm just not willing to do that. And Mel said, well, neither am I. He says, I don't know where I got that message from. You never told me that, but I never imagined that you could build this business by having fun with a party. And Mel says, well, that's kind of our fault. We can get a little too serious. So I'm glad you can see you can do it with parties. Doesn't that reinvent what you think people are thinking when they look at our model? If we don't have any launch parties that actually are parties, that we seem a little too serious for people imagining them doing it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I feel like, I've done a lot of different companies before Isogenics, and one of the things that I never wanted to do was parties, funny enough as it is. But it was because of the way the other companies did their parties. It was always, it just never appealed to me. It was not something I could see myself doing. But it is very different with Isogenics, so I do love that aspect.
I went to a jewelry party recently for a friend, and the woman just talked about her life, and she stood in the front of the room. I mean, she just gave us this long story, and I just kept thinking, this is not what you need to be doing.
Yeah, what are you doing? Yeah,
let the people look at the jewelry and try it on. Like,
oh, I was at a launch party where I was the speaker, and the first word out of the person giving their product testimonial was, well, it all started when I was involved in the underground sex movement in Toronto. And I'm the only guy in the room. And she talked about what she did in this whatever movement it was. And I'm going, I want to leave, but I'm one of the speakers. And she talked for 20 minutes about stuff that had nothing to do with Isogenics. I wanted to shoot her in the forehead. And when she got to the end, I'm not making it up. These are her exact words. So by the time I started using the products, I was eating so clean, only raw fruits and vegetables, that I really didn't have a product experience. And I looked around the room, and everybody looked the same way. One, they wanted to pour bleach in their ears because they think they just got an STD from her testimonial. And two, we all wanted to kill her and put her in the backyard and just not talk about it. Never mention it. Because we had just lived through a Caligula story.
Oh, I hate that movie.
That had nothing to do with Isogenics.
Yikes.
And we were in this sweet, wholesome woman's house. And I could just feel her going, I can't believe this is being said in my living room. Like, holy smoke.
Well, that wouldn't fly in my house because I make all my launch parties kid friendly, so people don't have an excuse because my kids are here.
Yeah,
so,
well, it would have been a really interesting experience for your kids that night, I can tell you that. Woo! Mommy, why is that woman in a dungeon? I don't understand. Yeah, it was something you don't ever want to experience ever again. Yeah. By the way, she's a 2-star. She cycles every week.
Oh.
Wow.
Now there's proof. Anybody can do this. If she's making money at this, doing it that way, right, there just isn't a wrong way to do it, is there?
Wow. No kidding.
Yeah. In fact, this is her only source of income. She doesn't have another job. She makes all of her money from Isogenics, and she still shares stories like that. I just don't accept her invitations when she says, hey, Pete, can you? Yeah, I'm busy. Sorry. No. What's happening? I think I'm having a root canal. I'm calling the dentist right now. Yeah.
No, you should tell her you have to wash your hair.
Yes.
Yeah.
Come on. That's not funny. You've seen my picture.
You might not get any more invitations, though, if you say that.
I could wash my beard, I guess. But do you see how sometimes what we're portraying can make us look a little too serious and a little too much like you've got to be a nutritionist to do this, when there's nothing farther from the truth. You don't need any of that stuff to build this business. You don't. What's the proof? Look at our top income earners. Some of them have nutritional backgrounds. Some of them don't have a clue. Why? They're business people. As one of our Isogenics millionaires told me, look, if Isogenics was selling dog poop in a paper bag and it made this kind of money, I'd become a specialist in dog poop. Why? I said, I love the products, but this is just a business for me. Sorry, bud. So I don't care. Business is cool. I'm not against capitalism. God bless you.
Right.
Now, there's an even funner one, and I just heard about it, and I got to share it with you. And if you're a teetotaler, I apologize. I don't drink either, but it's not because I don't like drinking. It just gives me a headache. But I heard of one in Milwaukee, I think Milwaukee area, that they called Cocktails and Conversations. And I love it. What it was a girls' night only kind of party where they had some cocktails or some wine. And they only highlighted 3 products. And they aren't any of the top 5. They highlighted the Rejuvenity skincare system, the organic coffee, and all 4 flavors of Isodelights. So no presentation is built into this party at all. It's literally just cocktails and conversations. But because it's women only, they invite the women to test drive their Rejuvenity skincare samplers right there. So there's no men here. We can take off our makeup, and if you want to, you can test drive how this skincare treats your face immediately. And they all did. All 7 guests and the 3 associates took off their makeup and put on the Rejuvenity skincare, saw what stuff was supposed to go how. Then they brewed some of the organic coffee. And while they were trying out the coffee, they all got to try all 4 flavors of the Isodelights. And no on-site enrollments. Is not made for an on-site enrollment kind of party. But 4 of the 7 women, within 3 days, made appointments and joined with packs. Just from that light, sticky product only kind of an evening. Isn't that a cool idea?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is.
It is. I have to say,
I think it's genius.
I was in Mary Kay for a while, and
I was thinking
the whole skincare thing makes me want to just like throw this idea out the. I could think of something other than skincare. We'll say maybe I'll sample the bars or something, because I can't do that again.
That's okay. You have ghosts of Christmas past.
My last commission check, and I would love to share this. My last commission check with them was $1, and I kept that.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Did you spend it all in one place, or did you save it for a rainy day?
I have the check in with all of my congratulatory Isogenics letters and pins and things like that, just so it keeps me grounded, because I think about a company that would pay me $1. I mean, what's that telling me I'm worth? If you're willing to print a check and give me $1, and
it costs them more to make that and mail it to you than.
Right. So it kind of helps me keep my perspective on things, but I just don't think I could do that. I mean, would you say sampling bars would be a good substitution for that?
Yeah, you could do a bar sampler. What else can you do that's a sticky product? I'm trying to think. Well, see, even that idea is the one that I love for anyone who's a bit of a gym rat. If you're going to any kind of a class, getting people to sample the AMP line before the class,
Ooh, yeah,
they'll know in 30 minutes that sucker works.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right?
Amped and
Now, and e-shots. What I'm hoping is, with further success of the line, we will start getting the AMP line, especially the pre-workout one, in the
Sample size.
The stick form, like the Ionics and Replenish comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It'll come.
It's just a brand new product, and we don't we're a very fiscally conservative company. We don't get into massive amounts of debt of stuff when we do stuff. We do things as we can afford them. So when you see the company, well, why aren't they? It's always the same reason. It isn't paying yet. When it pays, they'll do it. Don't worry about it. But I'd rather they did that than us being into debt to somebody who, we've got to somehow pay off with our integrity.
Save the money for me. Right?
They have the money for what?
I said save the money for me.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. That's a wonderful plan. Just you, no one else.
That's not what I meant. But
but there is the whole cocktail and conversations idea is kind of fed into another model, which we call the healthy happy hour. Now, I know some people call their launch parties healthy happy hours. These really are healthy happy hours. They are cocktail parties that are just for sampling. So there is no presentation of any kind at these things. They're strictly a cocktail party. And it's kind of like a 90-minute window for an open house. And you want to do it with 2 or 3 other associates. So as people come and go, they can hear other people's story about what the products are doing for them. Might have a lookbook out on the table, but there is no video running, nothing. It's just a cocktail party. Now, a team from here in New Hampshire, they did it really the best way I've ever seen. They booked 2 of these healthy happy hours the same week. One on a weeknight, and one on a weekend night. Because people, it kind of depends which is more free for them. So one was on a Wednesday, one was on a Saturday night. And 2 weeks out from the first event, they put 125 people onto a Facebook page that was dedicated solely to these 2 healthy happy hour events. And then 1 week out from the event, every day for 7 days, they revealed a post about something new they were going to be sharing or experiencing at these healthy happy hours. They even had one of the door prizes they were offering for the healthy happy hour was some of the amp line. So they were able to advertise it. So you got an invitation 2 weeks out. You had an option of 2 different nights that same week to go to, and you got 7 reminders of what was going to happen and what you'd experience there. So lots of great feed up time to it. 125 people were put on the page, so they saw all that posting and stuff. 25 people attended one of these 2 parties. And as a result, 9 people actually enrolled just as the result of a cocktail party styled taste testing. No formal presentation of any kind, just experience the flavor of the food and the flavor of the culture and see if you don't want to join us. That simple. The cocktail party works specifically well for people who are, say, in a condominium setting where a typical launch party is against their rules. Because when we taught this model to one of our Isogenics millionaires, she got really excited because she's lived in the same condominium complex for years, but she's never been able to share with her neighbors in a launch party model. It's against the rules, but she is allowed to hold a cocktail party. And so she immediately booked the community room for a cocktail party styled taste testing, which was just kind of an open house come and go. So it really works. It's just a very different model than most people are really used to seeing. What do you think of that one?
It's a good idea. I like all these ideas. I have one question about this though as well. It also refers to enrollments. So this one, you do the post-enrollment. Post-enrollment.
Yeah, we don't enroll at all at a cocktail party. No,
Okay.
No one enrolls at a cocktail party. No.
All right.
It's kind of a prequel. It's a prequel to them enrolling.
Would you say something maybe to them like, if you're interested in learning more, you could make an appointment or come back to this
Make an
other
appointment,
event?
and we'll set up an appointment for a consultation this week. Yeah.
So you could say that to the group.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. I mean, they'd have a card and everything, how to get a hold of you, the whole deal. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's a lighter touch than we're kind of used to. But, you know, in Dallas, Texas, there are two teams that are not financially linked. In fact, I don't think they know the other one's doing it. And they each do every other week a cocktail party like this. And every other week they get enrollments from it.
Yep.
Again,
some people who
just trying to experience that whole idea that there's more than one way to do it. That's all. So far, what do you think of those models? Do they sound like some of them that you could be things you could experiment with?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love instant consultants, so I'm all about some of that for sure.
Oh, man, I love that one. I mean, the gals that are making a consultant every week from a 1-hour presentation, they're going out of their minds. They just can't believe it could be this easy because they've been in for 2 or 3 years. And that's all they said when they told me their story. PK, we make a new consultant in an hour and we don't do any work.
Yeah, because I mean, just those parties I had last week, it was very a similar experience, not quite as successful, but I feel like once I get the model of the party down and get that presentation down to like a shorter time frame, I think that it'll be a lot more successful even than just, you know, one enrollment for the person. I get more for them.
Well, the thing is, though, that you also now got into a whole new sphere of influence with those parties.
Mm-hmm.
That's worth something. Sorry. That is worth something. Now, there's one last model, and it's on my YouTube channel. I don't ever train on it live. The only training I do on this is on my YouTube channel. And it was as a result of mentoring, well, the fastest team to ever max out. They maxed out their center from 0 in just 10.5 months. Never been done before or since. And their big complaint was, we got things to complain about, people want to grow faster than we can get them there. Is there some faster way to get someone to executive? And I was talking to them while I was driving in a blinding snowstorm, taking my wife to a doctor's appointment. And at the same time, of course, I was on Skype mentoring someone from Australia because that's what you do in a blinding snowstorm. And I said, well, why don't you try doing an executive launch party? And they apologized and said, I'm sorry, PK, we're new to Isogenics. We've never actually heard of that one before. And I said, oh, wouldn't matter if you're new to Isogenics or not. I just made it up. It's never happened before. And I told them the truth. It's never happened, but I think it can be done. And so the idea is, in a single launch party, you would, it would take you about a month of preliminary work to do, where you would find the 10 people who are wanting to join you in a product experience as well as in a business, and help those 10 friends find 2 each, so that now 30 people are all going to come to this launch party prepared to enroll together. And those 30 people would see one person go all the way to Crystal Executive and thus really see, wow, this business model really works. They had done a number of them successfully in Australia. And up until a year ago, they had never happened successfully here in North America. But then Dan Ferguson of Dearborn, Michigan, was asked the $10,000 question. Now, if you're not familiar with that question, it is a video on my YouTube channel, and it basically has 3 parts to it: a statement, a promise, and then the question. The statement is very simple. Isogenics has put $10,000 on the table for people who build deliberately during their first 6 months. Now, let's just pause there for a second, just to explain where that money comes from. In your first 6 months, you can earn $2,000 on the Crystal money: Crystal manager, director, and executive. and then another $2,000 in double PIBs, because starting from the top down, you can easily make $2,000 in double PIBs in your first 6 months. Then $1,000 making your first 10 consultants, and then $5,000 that's available from the director's pool. Now, since we've made that video, Isagenix again changed their compensation plan, and they've added another $3,500 to the front of the pool of the business plan. We now have the 5-cycle bonus, which is the first time you cycle 5 times, they give you an extra 5 cycles, and they'll do that twice with you. So there's 500. We now are able to be a 1-star when we're only a manager. It used to be you had to be an executive to be a to be a 1-star, but 1-star isn't 10 cycles. 1-star is a $540 week, cycles and PIBs combined. And when you combine those two factors together and you make 540, they give you a $500 bonus. And you can do that twice. Were you guys all familiar with that concept of PIB compression before? I
did not know about that $500 max out in a week. I thought it was only 10 cycles.
No. It's PIB compression. So if you have a great enrolling week, it's your PIBs plus your cycles, and as long as it crosses the 540 mark, you're a 1-star.
Wow.
And that comes with a $500 bonus.
Mm-hmm.
Now, at director, you can get a $1,000 bonus for a $1,080 week. PIBs and cycles combined, not 20 cycles. In fact, for all of it, that's how it works. It's your cycles, your matching cycles, and your PIBs combined to make those numbers. Were you guys aware of that?
No.
No.
It's just their way of giving you money quicker. I know it's a terrible problem we have with them, but, what are you going to do?
I love that problem, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what I just explained to you, don't feel bad, because I had to explain that to 2 Isagenix millionaires, both of whom have been millionaires for years, and they had no idea about PIB compression. Never heard of it. Yeah. So when you have 24 different ways you get paid, it's really hard to keep it straight.
Oh, you know what? I got an extra $500 a few weeks ago. I wonder if that's what it was from, because I did get a 1-star a few months ago, but I haven't hit the executive. I think you have to hit executive to be able to.
No. You only have to be a manager to be 1-star now.
Okay, but I did. But then that bonus, I didn't get paid on that $500 until I rank advanced to executive. Is that correct? Or
no. You're supposed to get it when you're manager for 1-star and director for 2-star. They changed all that in January. They might have missed it and just caught up with you.
Yeah, okay. That could be what happened.
Yeah. Isn't that a terrible problem, trying to keep track of how they give you money?
I hate it when I get an extra $500 and I don't know why.
Well,
sir, I'm
know why.
You must stop giving me $500. I insist. And good day. Yeah. It's the principle of it. I shall not receive your money. Anyway, when Dan heard about the $10,000 statement, Isagenix has put $10,000 on the table for people who build deliberately during their first 6 months. Then the promise, I know I could help you hit those markers along the way. And then the fun question is, if you didn't spend it on bills and you didn't spend it on debt, what would you spend the $10,000 on? Now, you guys spend the $10,000 for me. If you didn't spend it on bills and you didn't spend it on debt, what would you spend the $10,000 on?
Well, I do have a 5-year-old that's begging me to take her to Africa.
Oh.
Yes.
Well, you could easily go to Africa for $10,000, yeah.
Yeah.
If you go in the off season to Africa, you can fly for about $1,400 return.
Yeah, I promised her that I would take her, but it would be a couple years, and she wants to go for her birthday this year. I said, I'm sorry, honey. Mommy's bonuses are not that much yet. But I commend her for that desire to want to go. So
absolutely. I didn't get to go till I was 30-something. And Africa's fun. She'll like it. Just go to the safe places, though.
Well, we have priests that are at our church, and we have connections with them still over there. So I would like to go over there and do some stuff with them for the church. Excellent. Yeah.
But I still repeat my previous statement. Please just only go to the safe places.
Don't bring any lemon bars.
Those priests are pros. Okay, you're going over as an amateur. Just don't do scary stuff.
Will do.
So you go to Africa. Somebody else spend the money. How would you spend the $10,000?
I would pull my children out of public education.
What would you do with them? Private school?
I would either homeschool or I would find a private school that aligned more with what I thought was the correct way to educate them.
Wow. Of all the hundreds of people who have asked that question, you're the first person to give that answer.
Really?
Yes. Congratulations.
Wow. That's interesting.
Someone else, spend the $10,000. It's a lot of fun. Spend it.
Yeah, I'd probably travel. I don't know where. For $10,000.
No clue at all where you'd go?
Oh, I love California, but I'd still have money left over, but I wouldn't want to take my kids. So, go there and then maybe Disney with the kids.
There you go. Or to Rome and Italy without your kids.
Oh, yeah, I've always wanted to go to Italy. There you go.
Yeah. I'd love to go there too.
My Aussies used this to start their launch party one night, and they just asked the $10,000 question. And there were two gals in the room, and they said, "Is this a joke or is this real?" And the host, Sandy Golder, a mentee of mine, she said, "No, I've helped people make way more than $10,000 in their first 6 months. I can show you how to do it." And they both broke into these huge smiles and said, "Well, then we would take our husbands home to Italy." I says, "Well, why?" He says, "Well, they were born there, but they've never seen it. They were babies. And every week they talk about what it would be like to win the lottery or something so they could actually see where they were born. So we'd take our husbands home to Italy." And, those women didn't leave that launch party till they were both consultants.
Wow.
Lit a fire under them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in Dan's case, all he could think of was all the teachers in his school system who have to work summer jobs or teach summer school because they can't possibly afford to take the summer off. And he thought, wow, if I could get that money in their hands, they could actually take the summer off. So he was on my YouTube channel and saw that one of the options for how we do things was the executive launch party. Have a monster launch party, go to executive in a single party. So he throws a party and shares his vision. I want to put $10,000 in my teacher's hands. Who wants to join me? And 8 people join him and commit to helping him have a monster launch party in 1 month. And over the next month, those 9 people enrolled another 32 people. So now 41 people are filling the room for a monster launch party. Now, I don't know how many people attended, but I do know the results, and they're nuts. 60 people enrolled at a single party. 14 went consultant, 2 went crystal director, 1 went crystal executive in one party. We went from never having ever had an executive launch party in North America to having the most successful executive launch party ever. And it all happened just outside of Detroit, Michigan. How cool is that?
That's way cool.
Mm-hmm.
The key here is, it was just an idea. And that's the issue with launch parties. Be ingenious. If you have an idea, try it. Just try it. You don't need to wait for permission. As long as it's legal, ethical, and compliant, why aren't you trying it? Give it a shot. Because you may have the next great idea. So this week, how about you consider what of these new planned parties you could actually put into action? What do you think?
I'm down. I got one scheduled for Wednesday. We'll see which one fits.
Nice. Like it.
Yes.
And next week, we'll talk about how on earth do we get you paid. Okay?
Sounds good.
Okay.
Excellent. Well, thanks for a great call. I had a lot of fun with you guys today.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you.
Thank you, PK.
How many
Have a
groups?
Have a
do you
great week. It's going to be warm this weekend, so I'm going to get the motorcycle started, and I'm going to go for a ride with my honey in the motorcycle. Woo!
Well, enjoy.
Yes, I'm still a kid. It's okay. It's how we stay young.
Amen.
Have a great week.
All
Thank
right,
you
you
too.
Thank you.
See ya.
What do you think, girlies?
I wish you all were closer to me so you'd come help me.
How far are you? Where are you at?
It's about an hour and a half from Dover.
That's not bad.
North?
Yeah, right outside of, like, if you look at the Cleveland, and do you know 90 and 271?
Mm-hmm.
You know where those two meet on the east side?
Yeah, I think I kind of got lost there.
Well, if you ever look at the weather, we watch the weather, Cleveland weather, and they have the roads laid out. If you look,
Mhm.
there's like a Y on the east side. That's where 90 goes to the right or the left.